Turkish Foreign Policy, Part 1. Turkish foreign policy in the post-referendum era. Crafting a political system where foreign policy power would be both more effective and democratic requires a system of analysis of foreign policy making procedures. Foreign policy making should rely on the standards such as accountability, rationality, and a rapid decision mechanism, especially in times of crisis. Measuring the success of a country's foreign policy is not a straightforward practice. Evaluating the relationship between a political system and the crafting of its foreign policy thus begs the question, what kind of political system best serves the interest of a strategically important country? And how can a country ensure a coherent foreign policy strategy that provides more security and prosperity to its citizens? While being in compliance with the moral principles, the constitutional amendments on which the Turkish people voted on in the April 16 referendum 2017 aim to resolve many structural problems and bring more effective and democratic mechanisms to the foreign policy making. First, the formulation of foreign policy making process in the new presidential system needs to be clarified with the sharp separation of powers between the legislature and executive. And as we move along, the president will become the dominant actor in foreign policy making, although he will not be acting in a vacuum since his actions would be audited by the parliament. International agreements need to be ratified by the president, will also be subject to the approval of the parliament. Because the new amendments introduce the criminal liability of the president, which the present constitution does not have. Any action taken by the president will have to be compatible with the rule of law. Under the new system, many actors within the bureaucracy, institutions, and agencies will be able to contribute to foreign policy. Each specific actor's expertise is crucial, as long as there is an ultimate civil authority providing coordination and harmony among them. This coordination mechanism will be established by the president whenever it is necessary. Democratization of foreign policy. Turkish foreign minister or the Turkish foreign affairs have long been produced of the elites ruled by the bureaucratic and military tutelage and shaped behind the closed doors of the military had got its own influence, and of course they had their concern on the foreign policy. The last 15 years have seen a struggle between the democratically elected governments and the political elite who did not want to lose their hold over institutions and policy-making processes, including foreign policy. From coup threats to controversial decisions of the Constitutional Code, the elite resisted against democracy. With new amendments, the last remnant of the tutelage will cease to exist. For instance, the Constitutional Code still has 2 members appointed by the military, which in itself is an undemocratic practice. In this sense, new amendments will empower the civilians who are represented democratically elected officials. Furthermore, the non-government actors such as the academy, civil society organizations, think tanks and the media outlets will all have a say in making of a foreign policy, turning the process into a more inclusive and democratic one.